Hello everyone. Today we will discuss divergence of vector field and its physical significance. In previous lecture we discussed gradient of a scalar field. Now we will discuss divergence of a vector field. So what does this divergence means? Divergence is the dot product of del bar and a vector function of a space. Means suppose if we have a region which is defined by a vector field, means here we will need the vector field. To find gradient we need scalar field, while to find divergence we will need vector field. This is the largest difference between the gradient and divergence. So if we have a vector field, let's say v bar, which is function of x, y and z coordinate, then this del bar dotted with our v bar is known as the divergence of v bar, and it is written as div v bar, while we wrote gradient as grad of scalar function phi that we have already discussed. Therefore, if you put values of del and v bar, that is del bar dot v bar will be, now what is our differential divergence or our differential function? Del is defined as dou by dou x I cap plus dou by dou y j cap plus dou by dou z k cap, right? And it is taken as a dot product with, now since v bar is a vector function, it can be written as the components of a Cartesian coordinate system, since it is function of x, y, z. Therefore this v bar can be resembled as vx I cap plus vy j cap plus vz k cap. So if we substitute here the value of v bar, we will get here vx I cap plus vy j cap plus vz k cap. And you know that dot product of two vector is nothing but scalar. So we should get this dot product as a scalar quantity. So let's find this dot product. So dot product of first component, then second and third. For this I dot I, then j dot j and k dot k is 1. This you know, right? So we will use this property, and the dot product with other vector is 0, that is I dot j will be 0, and same for remaining combination. So here we will get this dot product as dou by dou x of vx plus dou vy upon dou y and dou vz upon dou z according to this product. So I dot I, j dot j and k dot k is 1, and remaining product is this. So if you observe this quantity del bar dot v bar, this is nothing but a scalar quantity. So we can say that the divergence of a vector quantity is a scalar quantity, and you should note that del dot v bar should not be equal to v bar dot del bar, because this v bar dot del bar itself is an operator, since it is written as vx dou by dou x plus vy dou by dou y plus vz dou by dou z. As like this, if you substitute values of first v bar and then del bar, you will get v bar dot del bar as this, and del bar dot v bar is this. So both are not equal. And itself this is a operator. So this is all about the divergence of a vector field. And operator which is operated, that is del dot v bar, this is nothing but a scalar field. So these both are not equal. Now we will discuss physical significance of divergence of vector. So to discuss this physical significance of del dot V, we will consider a vector V bar which represent velocity of a moving fluid. And at this velocity is at point P, which is function of three coordinates x, y, z in a space. So this vector V bar which represent velocity of a moving fluid at point P, this point P is the center of rectangular parallelopipe with edges as dx, dy and dz. So here we will consider one rectangular parallelopipe in which it will have edges dx, dy, dz parallel to the Cartesian coordinate axis, and V bar is the velocity of a moving fluid at point P. So if you imagine a parallelopipe in a space, so we can draw this diagram on the page as we will consider three-dimensional Cartesian coordinate system in a space in which there is a rectangular parallelopipe. So let me draw that rectangular parallelopipe in three-dimensional space. So here this rectangular parallelopipe will have point P at the center, and this V bar represents the velocity of the fluid which is flowing through the parallelopipe. So this parallelopipe is filled with the fluid through which it is flowing in this direction. So here if you consider this direction, now this is x, y and let's say this is z. So this will be Vz component, this will be Vy component of this V, and this will be Vx component of this velocity. So we can represent this V bar as Vx I cap plus Vy j cap plus Vz k cap. Now through this parallelopipe the fluid is flowing and its velocity is V bar. So here we will consider edges as A, B, C, D and E, F, G and H. Now the edges of parallelopipe are taken as dx, this will be dy and this will be dz, since our direction of x, y, z are in this way. So these are the edges of that parallelopipe. Now what will be the volume of this parallelopipe? So volume of this parallelopipe is given by d tau, and it will be the product of these three edges, that is dx, dy and dz. So this will represent the volume of this parallelopipe, and this Vx, Vy, Vz are the components of V bar at point P along x, y and z axis respectively. Now we will consider the rate of change of velocity along y axis as dou Vy upon dou y. This is the rate of change of V bar along the y axis. Now the center of this face edge, we will consider this face edge E, F, G, H, and the center of this face edge is taken as, it will be now dy upon 2, because see here this is our total dy, and if you consider center of this face edge, it will be over here. So this is the center of the face E, F, G, H, and this center of this face edge from point P. So this face edge is at a distance how much? Dy by 2 from the point P. So the center of this face edge is at distance dy by 2 from point P. Because if this total edge is dy, now distance between this center of face edge and point P will be half, because we have considered this point P at the center. This means it will be dy upon 2. So this is the center of the face edge which is situated at the distance dy by 2 from point P. Therefore, if we consider the change in value of Vy when move from point P to the center of face edge EFGH. So here we have to consider the change in value of Vy. So since fluid is moving, this Vy is changing as your fluid is moving. So this change in value of Vy when a fluid is moved from point P to the center of this edge, this change is given by product of this quantity into this quantity. So this will give us the change in the value of Vy when our fluid is moved from the point P to the center of the edges, because the rate of flow of velocity along Y is this and the distance from point P to center of edge is this. So the product of these two quantity will give us the change in the value of Vy. Therefore, this is the change in the value of Vy when your fluid is moving from point P, that is from point P to center of this edge. And hence the magnitude of Y component of V bar at the center of this face edge will be, now if you have to find magnitude of Vy, that is magnitude of Y component of V bar at center of this face edge, it will be addition of the Vy and this term, because your fluid is moving in this direction and this is the change in the value of Vy. So total magnitude of Y component of V bar at this center of edge will be Vy plus this quantity, which is Vy plus dou Vy upon dou Y into dy upon 2. And if we consider, since we are considering small element, so this face or this one face of parallelopipe is considered very small. So if we consider this as too small, it will be same as like this point, means its shape will be same to this dimension of this point. This much small means we will consider a point face, since we are considering this as a small volume of parallelopipe, which is dx, dy, dz. These are very small edges. Therefore, this face is also very small, and because of this, we are considering this value in this square bracket. This is assumed to be a same at every point on this surface E, F, G, H. Now, if we have to find the magnitude of component Y at the center of this another edge, so we will discuss for the another edge, which is A, B, C, D. So in case of this edge, since we are considering the point P as the center, and here Vy is, this is the positive Vy. So if we consider the center of this edge, the direction of the flow and V will be negative, means this direction of flow of a fluid and velocity will be opposite to each other, since this is point P is taken as a center. So this will be negative axis and this is positive axis. So this value we have calculated just, which is equal to this bracket, that is Vy plus dou Vy upon dou Y into dy by 2. So this is the value for face edge EFGH, and only change for this second edge will be, just we will take the subtraction over the here, because magnitude of y component, now y component is in negative direction, so this sign will get changed and there is no other change in this expression. So the magnitude of y component at the center of this edge will be, just take negative sign over here and we will get Vy minus dou Vy upon dou y into dy by 2, because if we consider this as a center, this distance is, this much distance is how much now? Dy by 2, and the rate of flow of, again this distance is same, dy by 2, but the rate of flow of Vy component along negative y axis will be minus dVy upon dou y. So this quantity is negative, due to which we will get here minus sign. Means for the rate of change of V bar along negative y axis, this quantity will be negative for this edge, that is second edge ABCD. Therefore here we got a negative sign. Now we can say that the area of this edge and area of this edge are equal, means area of ABCD and area of EFGH are equal. And how to calculate this area? So if you observe both the faces ABCD and EFGH, in these faces you are going to have only dz and dx, because this is the face. Let me shade it, then you will get idea. So see, I have shaded it by the lines. So if you observe this face which is shaded, so area of this face is dx into dz. There is no y component for this face. Similarly for this face also there is no y component, since you can see here this component is dz and this is dx. So if we consider only this face, okay, this is like this. So if we consider only this face, there is only dz and dx component. So this, suppose this is vertical is our dz and this is dx. So area of these faces are given by dx and dz, since no y component. This is two-dimensional plane which is along x and z axis. So area of both faces are equal, and which is dx into dz. Therefore we can say that volume of a fluid entering per unit time through the face ABCD is given by, now for face ABCD, the volume of a fluid entering per unit time through the face ABCD is given by, this is the amount of fluid into area of that face will gives us the volume. So here it is given by Vy minus dou Vy upon dou y dy by 2 into that area through which our fluid is entering. So this is the volume of a fluid which is entering per unit time through the face ABCD. And similarly for face EFGH, what it will be? It will be this magnitude into area, which is again dx into dz. That is for second face EFGH, it will be Vy plus dou Vy upon dou y by 2 and dx into dz, that is area. So this product will give us the volume of a fluid entering per unit time through the both faces, which is calculated in this way. Now the flux of a fluid is positive when component of a V and outward drawn normal on the surface or a face of element are in the same phase. So the direction is same. Therefore, the net flow per unit time in y direction will be given by, now here this is the flow of a fluid and volume of that flow of a fluid. If you have to calculate net flow in y direction, it will be subtraction of this quantity from to this quantity. Means the net flow, outflow per unit time in y direction is, it will be subtraction because this is the center, this is positive direction and this is negative direction. So if we have to find net flow in y direction, it is subtraction of these two quantities from each other, which is given by this expression. Here I have taken this quantity common, which is same. So I have taken it common outside the subtraction. I took subtraction of these two terms. So if you calculate this subtraction, you will get Vy, dou Vy upon dou y into dy by 2 minus Vy minus minus plus dou Vy by dou y into dy by 2, and this is multiplied by dx dz. So if you observe these two terms, it will get cancelled, and addition of these two terms will be dy by 2 plus dy by 2, that is nothing but dy, that is half plus half 1. So you will get here dou Vy upon dou y dy dx dz. So this amount is nothing but the net outflow per unit time, which is given by dvy by dy dx dy dz. Now according to this, in similar way we can find net outflow of a fluid per unit time in x and z direction. This is for y direction. So similarly for x and z direction, this will be, there is no change in this quantity. For x, here we will have x, and for z, here we will just have z, and that will give us the net flow of a fluid per unit time in x and z axis direction respectively. I will write it on new page. So we calculated for y direction, and it is similar for x and z, just there is change of suffix. So this will give us the net outflow of a fluid per unit time in x, y and z direction respectively. Now we will find total net flow or total net flux. Now what is flux? It is a rate of flow of fluid. Now we will found total net flux diverging from, or diverging means leaving from the element. So to calculate it, we have to take addition of all this net flow in x, y and z direction. So if we took the addition of all this net flow of a fluid per unit time, that is flux. So to calculate total flux, we have to take addition. And if you took this addition, so if we add these three terms, I will take this dx, dy, dz common from this addition, and it will be equal to dou vx upon dou x plus dou vy upon dou y plus dou vz upon dou z into this common volume element dx, dy, dz. So this is the total net flux which is leaving from the element of our parallelopipe. And if we have to calculate this amount of flux per unit volume, means we have to divide this by volume, and we know that volume is given by dx, dy, dz. So if we have to find total net flux per unit volume, just divide by dx, dy, dz to this amount. Both will get cancelled, and only quantity inside the bracket will remain, which gives you the total amount of flux per unit volume. So after dividing this with volume element, the total amount flux per unit volume will be dou Vx upon dou x plus dou Vy upon dou y plus dou Vz upon dou z. Now this expression is nothing but the divergence of V bar. If you observe, in starting we have defined this expression as the divergence of V bar, which was given by this expression. So this is nothing but del dot V or divergence of V bar. Therefore we can say that the divergence of V bar is equal to this quantity. So the expression of divergence of V bar is nothing but the vector field which represent net amount of flux of a vector field which is leaving per unit volume. So divergence of V bar at any point is nothing but it will represent a vector field which is net amount of flux of that vector field leaving per unit volume. Now from this we can conclude three conclusions. Now there are three cases. If your divergence is positive, if it is negative, and if it is zero, let's see what does it physically means. Now we will take first case when divergence of any field is existing at a point and when its value is positive, then it will represent the rate at which fluid is flowing away from that point per unit volume. Means whenever divergence is positive, that fluid will flow away from your reference point, and there are two cases now. If fluid is flowing away, this means either fluid is expanding at that point and its density is decreasing, or the point is source at which fluid is entering in the field. So if your divergence is positive, this means fluids flow away from that point. Let's say this is our point P from previous discussion. So fluid will flow away from this point P, and this meaning of this is your fluid is expanding, and if fluid is expanding, its volume is increasing, so indirectly density of fluid is decreasing. That's why I have written this downward arrow. It means density is decreasing. So here your point will called as a source, or it will act as a source at which your fluid is entering in the field. So there is an example of electric field in which positive divergence at the point means positive charge at the point. So this is the example. That means if you place the positive charge, your field is expanding, because direction of the electric field of this positive charge is always away from that point charge. Another example is thermal field, in which the point is entire source of a heat or placed where temperature is falling. Now we will discuss second case, in which your divergence of a vector field is less than 0, that is, it is negative. And if it is negative, then it gives that it is the rate at which fluid is flowing towards that point per unit volume. Now here it is fluid is flowing away. Here fluid will flow towards point P. So if this is our point P, then direction of flow of fluid is towards this point P. So if this direction is towards the point P, then there are two meaning, that is our fluid is compressing or contracting, means fluid is contracting, and if fluid is contracting, then volume is decreasing, and if volume is decreasing, density is increasing. Therefore, whenever divergence is negative or less than 0, then fluid is flowing towards our point of discussion, and therefore there is either contraction of a fluid and density will goes on increasing. So here point is known as a sink, at which fluid is leaving from point, and this is the two case. And last case is whenever this divergence equal to 0. Now meaning of divergence is zero means the flux entering any volume element will be equals to the flux which is leaving from that volume element, means amount of flux which is entering in that volume element will be equal to amount of flux which is leaving from that volume element. So in fluid, when divergence is zero, this means that there is a neither source nor a sink at that point. This means density will remain constant, and if density is constant, it means that the fluid is incompressible. Means in case of, there is example, in case of magnetic induction due to current carrying conductor, it will represent that flux line from closed curve, and there will be the divergence or the incompressible case, that is divergence is zero. So whenever divergence is zero, the amount of flux entering through volume element will be equal to amount of flux which is leaving the volume element, and if both are equal, that means there is neither compression nor expansion, and hence there is no source or sink, that is density will remain constant. Such type of fluids are called as a incompressible fluid. Now one more new concept is there, that is solenoidal vector. So it is a vector for which divergence of that vector is zero. Now suppose we have a vector v bar, then when its divergence is zero, then such a vector is known as a solenoidal vector. Means if you have asked that check whether your vector is solenoidal or non-solenoidal, so you have to calculate its divergence, and when your divergence is zero, then it is known as a solenoidal vector, and when it is not equal to zero, it is known as a non-solenoidal vector. And another meaning is divergence free field. Means whenever your vector is the solenoidal vector, then such a fields or such a vectors are known as a divergence free vector or divergence free field. So this is the concept of solenoidal vector or solenoidal field, that is also called as a divergence free field. So examples of these fields are the field of velocity of an incompressible liquid. Just we have discussed it. So in case of the solenoidal field, for example, if we take an example where our vector field is given by v bar of xy, which is y and minus x. So this vector is really in that way, when you plot a bunch of this vector, it looks like a vortex. Means if you draw the diagram or a picture for such a vector, then it will looks like a vortex. This means here the divergence of vector field will be zero. So such types of fields are known as a solenoidal field or divergence free field. So if we find del dot v bar here, we will get here dou by dou x of v bar, which is dou by dou x of y plus dou by dou y of minus x, and if you calculate this derivative, both are zero. Such a fields are known as the solenoidal vector field or divergence free field. Now we will discuss problem. So in problem number 15, they have asked us to prove that this v bar is a solenoidal vector. They have given us a v bar and we have to show that it is a solenoidal vector. Means we have to show that its divergence will be zero. So let's find del bar dot v bar. So if we have to find del bar dot v bar, let's put value of del, which is dou by dou x I cap plus dou by dou y j cap plus dou by dou z k cap, and it is dotted with v bar, which is 3y square z square I cap plus 4x cube z square j cap minus 3x square y square k cap. V bar is given to you. Now if you have to find the dot product, we have already discussed, it will be dou by dou x of this term, that is 3y square z square, plus dou by dou y of this second term, that is 4x cube z square, and dou by dou z of this third term, that is 3x square y square. So let's calculate these derivatives. So these derivatives will be, here if you observe this, there is no x, means derivative of this bracketed quantity with respect to x is 0. Here also there is no y and derivative is with respect to y. So this derivative is also 0. Similarly here derivative is with respect to z and here no z. So this derivative is also 0. This implies me that divergence of this given vector field is 0. This implies me that our v bar is a solenoidal vector field. Hence, we have proved that given v bar is a solenoidal vector field. Now in next problem, they have already given us that our vector field v bar is a solenoidal vector. So v bar is this, and they have asked us to show that this v bar will have a value when it is solenoidal at point a equals to -2. Means since they have given vector is solenoidal, that means they have given us del dot v bar equal to 0. And they have asked us to show that it is solenoidal at a equal to -2. Means here what you have to do, find del dot v, equate it to 0, then you will get a equal to -2. So let's find del dot v. So I have substituted del bar and v bar. So if you calculate this divergence, you will get dou by dou x of x plus 3y plus dou by dou y of y minus 2z and dou by dou z of x plus az. And if you calculate this derivative, you will get 1 plus, here derivative of this quantity is again 1 and here derivative is a, and we have given that this is del dot v is 0. So let's calculate the 0 is equal to 1 plus 1, 2 plus a, and this implies me that a is equal to -2. Hence we can say that our vector field v bar is solenoidal at point a equals to -2. So this is the discussion on the divergence of vector field, as well as we have solved problem based on it.